landmark decision along ideological lines. Justices struck down Louisiana's voting map, saying it relied too much on race when drawing up a majority black district. The ruling could set off a scramble by Republican-led states to redraw majority congressional districts, especially in the South, a move that could potentially shift the balance of power in Congress permanently. Joining us, MS Now reporter Alex Tabbitt. He's in Florida, where their maps just got approved today. Senior editor at Slate and MS Now law and politics analyst Dahlia Lithwick, and former New York congressman and senior advisor at VoteBets, Max Rose. So Dahlia, this it's kind of a confusing decision, and I hope you'll walk me through it, because what they did here is say you can't gerrymander on race, but you can gerrymander on politics, on partisanship. How do you separate those two things out when the gerrymander on race in a lot of those districts meant that you were gerrymandering a Democratic district?
Right.
I mean, the court a few years ago held that partisan political gerrymanders were, in their words, non-justiciable. So that was already established. There was this lingering question, Katie, which was, what about racial gerrymanders? And today the court said, effectively, whatever is left of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and let's be really clear, when the court decided Shelby County, right, the eviscerating Section 5, the big guts of the Voting Rights Act, they said, don't worry, you can always use Section 2 to effectuate, the rights of minority voters. So they did away with Section 2, or what's left of Section 2. And you're exactly right. Now that the court has said you can go ahead and do partisan political gerrymanders, that's now good law. Also, the standard for determining whether there's been a racial gerrymander under Section 2 is now so high as to be effectively unmeetable. So they've taken whatever teeth were left out of Section 2. So now I think what you're going to see is, and Justice Kagan makes this point in her dissent, the two combined mean that open season on all gerrymandering forever.
So basically, if a state legislature can prove that they are redrawing the maps based on partisanship, I want more Republicans, and they can look at these congressional districts that are majority minority, majority black districts, majority Latino districts, whatever, and say, you know what, they all vote Democrat. I don't want them to be able to all vote Democrat. I want a Republican in there. Their race no longer matters?
Right, that's what this did. It effectively said that the protection was that you couldn't do a racial gerrymander, but now that's gone. So essentially what the court is saying is, particularly throughout the South, where voting correlates so highly to a political party, there's just no way anymore you're going to be able to prove that a gerrymander violates the Constitution.
What did Elena Kagan say in her dissent?
Oh, she was as biting and as frustrated as she gets, and this is a.
We want to know who these judges are that ruled on this.
Same
Louisiana
exact issues, and she essentially says in her dissent that just call it what it is. You can't say Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act survives
racist
to see
judges
another day when you've made it absolutely impossible to meet whatever this mythical new standard is. And she's really at pains to sort of go through the history of why the Voting Rights Act exists, why the 14th and 15th
why would you want to remove it,
why these laws were put into place, and why
if this is a democratic country, why would you want to remove that for?
But also reauthorized by Congress, who also gets kneecapped today, and her frustration, the sense that this is just an utterly dead letter is the word she uses. Just God bless her. What it is, she says, and
we remember you. We remember the ones that didn't vote, that voted the other way.
Perfectly political lines opinion won't even do that.
Yeah, and there's arguments now the Supreme Court has been writing law in a lot of these decisions.
Right.
All right, Alex, take me to Florida. Florida is a state that has just redrawn its maps. Those maps were just approved. But there is some tension in Florida because some Republican lawmakers are worried that this new version of the maps is going to dilute their districts.
That's all going to backfire on them. And the Supreme Court is going to come back to bite y'all. Everybody that voted for that is going to come back and bite you. Remember what I say.
That's right, Katie. And this new map is all but approved. It just passed.
All these, let me tell you something. Anybody that wants to be removed from these districts, it's going to be a link coming out.
Basically a foregone conclusion that
Get out of them districts. They can't do anything without any revenue. We'll leave 5 people in. They want Republicans? Yeah, we're going to leave 5 people in that district. Everything else going to be empty. There will be something coming out if you want to move anywhere closer. Atlanta, any other state that's closer to Florida or Louisiana, you can get the fuck out. They can keep them swamps. They can't win nothing with that. Not when you only got 5 people in your district.
28 congressional districts should be controlled by Republicans. 56.
Let's see how well that district do when they ain't bringing no revenue.
For Harris, there's 4 million registered Democrats compared to 5.5 million Republicans. So it's just not it's just a disproportionate representation.
There ain't no 5 million. I don't believe that.
Here in this state now,
Ain't no that many Republicans in this world after all this shit they done tore up.
Some anxiety here among some Republicans in Florida that potentially this new map dilutes some Republican representation in South Florida.
It's all right.
If voting trends,
but people gonna start leaving there. They ain't gonna have to worry about no reputation. Alligators gonna be reputation. That's what you're gonna have.
The Republicans. That's what makes it so controversial. It's another Sorry. Okay.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Another thing that makes this pretty controversial is that in 2010, Floridians voted on the Fair Districts Amendment. It's basically a constitutional amendment that bans partisan gerrymandering in minority groups.
And then you gonna have the Supreme Court go right up there, yo. You see what I'm saying?
So there is definitely going to be a lot of.
They acting like they're above the law too. We got to stop that with these Supreme Court these Supreme Courts just thinking they're gonna make up the law as they go along now. When we get this house back, it's gonna be a lot of changes.
The 7th was appointed by a different.
We want to put up a lot of changes with these courts. And how much power they hold.
The reason I'm smirking here is I remember not too long ago.
And we want to check every judge background from now on before they rule on any case.
And the way the demographics in this country were changing, Republicans were never going to be elected again. Never. It's never going to happen. And then Donald Trump came along. So like all of the
we're going to make some executive orders.
Democrats might be feeling now about a permanency of Republican leadership. I treat that with some skepticism because voters do change their minds. Maybe not as quickly as some people want them to, but sometimes it can come out of nowhere. And Republicans have been unpopular over these last
Right, so what makes you think just changing what's the name people still ain't gonna vote for your ass?
There's nothing like putting us into a reckless unconstitutional.
That's why I said it's gonna backfire. It's gonna backfire. And all them the Supreme Court people that voted on that, oh man, we coming for you.
It became a dummy mandate. Right? You're gonna see
we coming for you.
Making Republican districts in order to make another Republican
we coming for you, Clarence.
More seats competitive. Democrats are going to
Kavanaugh.
that they never
we coming.
Actually in play. These Republicans are so unpopular.
Don't get warm. Don't get comfortable in them seats.
Gerrymander. They can't.
And Clarence, it's time for you to go anyway. You've been there too long. We don't want you there no more.
Is in play. Alex Vindman can.
Nobody trusts you.
Senate seat.
You corrupt.
The governor's race in Florida is in play. And there's absolutely nothing that the state legislature can do in terms of these backdoor politics to fix that.
So are you hopeful about the future, or are you feeling a little bit of doom and gloom?
God bless America.
I'm